What's up, everybody? Welcome to the semi-final of the Topachat tournament. We have today Fnatic going up against Virtus.pro in a best-of-5 series, and of course the winner is going to advance to meet Team Liquid in the finals. Both of these teams that we have here are absolutely amazing. Of course, Fnatic went through a few changes just recently. We've been going over those quite a bit, and now they have to face Virtus.pro, the former Team Arthur Stroidram. So a very aggressive Russian team that we have. And game number 1 is Battlefield of Eternity, and in this case, again, Virtus.pro going for an Illidan composition with an Abathur in their mix. They're also playing the Leoric here as a single tank, which we don't see all that often. So it's Illidan with the support of Uther and Abathur, together with Leoric at the front line, going up against Fnatic's lineup, which consists of 2 warriors, 2 specialists as the damage dealers and the pushing specialists, of course, and we have Malfurion in the midst as well. So this is going to be a pretty good one. With the Muradin and also then an Anubarak, there's quite a bit of counter play against Illidan, especially of course to get rid of that support so that Uther can't get that Divine Shield in. It's only the first game of the best of 5 series, but I'm already excited. Battlefield of Eternity coming up right now with Virtus.pro versus Fnatic. Alright, everybody, welcome to the first game in the semi-final here at the Topachat tournament, Fnatic versus Virtus.pro. It is a best of 5, and this is going to be a pretty fun game on Battlefield of Eternity with Lowell on Anubarak, Wooby on Malfurion for Fnatic, Breeze on Muradin, we have Kesel on Nazebo, and Mane on Zagara. Virtus.pro to the right side of the map is starting with Andilendi on Abathur. Yep, we have Sefka on Uther and Kuni-chan on Illidan with Unstable on Vala and BKB playing as a solo tank Leoric. So Leoric for the Russians here really a solo tank, whereas most of the other teams are currently playing him in dual tank compositions. We're seeing the reduction on the Innovate cooldown for Malfurion on level 1. I kinda like that talent a lot. If you go for the extra damage on your Moonfire against minions and mercenaries, you get some additional lane presence with him, and that's always cool. But it's still interesting to see him trying to supply Zagara and Nazebo with extra mana here. Corpse Feeder on level 1 for Zagara is already highlighted by our observer, Karma. As I already said, I'm not in the lobby myself, not in the game myself. I'm actually relying on a clean feed here, so shout out to Karma for the observing here, the French organization providing us with a clean feed, which is always nice. Reanimation taken for Leoric, and we see a Rancor build, an auto attack build for Vala. So Abathur, of course, is going to play a crucial role in this game for the Russian team. He is going to be the one that has to soak experience during those immortal fights on both of the lanes. Reach will help Uther to give the heal to Illidan. The whole idea of Illidan here is to commit and jump into the backline, and then Uther has the bigger range on his heals now with level 1 reach, and that's very important since you need to keep Illidan alive. He is one of the crucial aspects. A lot of in the game is going to hinge on him. Fnatic, of course, with the new setup. If you haven't seen the new lineup yet, they got rid of, well, they didn't really get rid of them. Shinobu went back to the US, so he's not with the team anymore, and also Freds and Ace of Spades are not playing for Fnatic any longer. They kept Lowell and also Kesel, and we have Mane joining the team together with Breeze and Wooby. Breeze and Wooby, formerly partnered up with Navi. Breeze was their tank player, Wooby was the coach, and they both play now for Fnatic, and it's a very scary lineup. It's a lineup that they put together over weeks, and the whole idea of this lineup to go for number 1. This is not one of those lineups where they say, hey, we are absolutely okay being top 3 in Europe. They want to attack Team Liquid, and we are soon going to find out if they can make that happen. They won all of the games so far that we've casted of Fnatic, but now they're up against Virtus.pro, and that is a very different beast to take down. Kuni-chan, on the other hand, is starting to get a little bit low here. Good stun against Illidan, but Abathur was helping out, and Breeze just doesn't have the follow-up damage to take care of it. Immortals have spawned on the map. We're having both of the teams fighting for the top lane most of all, as Abathur also in position. And just keep in mind that with Abathur we have the opportunity for Virtus.pro to soak 2 lanes, while the rest of the team is in the mid lane occupying the opponent at the Immortals. Kuni-chan himself is already on his way to apply some damage to the Immortal here, as Lowell is jumping in but has to move out. Kuni-chan is jumping in again. The thing is, though, he can't take down Anubarak without exposing himself to those towers, and that would drop him eventually. But we're having level 4 now taken. And on level 4, as you can see, currently having on Malfurion another talent taken for Innovate. So that's the additional mana that you regenerate with the talent, Versatile. It's actually pretty cool to see that, because both of the heroes that they have for yeah, well, for damage in general, but also for siege damage, for pushing power, Nazeebo and Zagara depend heavily on their spells, and if you have Innervate ready for them, that's great. Lol also going into the range upgrades. Underking on level 4, so his Burrow Charge is going to be extremely cool in those fights. He has a huge range now that he can use to just initiate those fights, and also the extended Spike talent taken on level 1 for him. That's actually very, very scary here right now. Anubarak has a crucial role in this game, and that's Web Blast on level 10. Once that Illidan is starting to jump the back line, his job is going to be to isolate Uther so that Illidan doesn't get the Divine Shield and also does not get the additional heals. Therefore, a lot will hinge on Lowell trying to keep Illidan as low as he possibly can, and once that Uther is out of the mix, they can just burst down the melee assassin of Virtus Pro and try and take him out here. Boundless Conviction on level 4 for Uther, not bothering with a shield or anything like that. We are seeing again for Abathur the complete support build. And I mean, of course, it's kind of like, what do you expect? We have an Illidan in the game, so what else would you do? There's some hybrid builds that you can sometimes see where you go still into your Locust Talents on level 1, 13 and 16. But if you are running with an Illidan, you really want to make sure that he has as much support as you can possibly offer him. And that means that we're having now Adrenal Overlord, Pressurized Grants on Abathur already. And we are seeing also now Fealty onto Death for Leoric, who of course needs the additional sustain on the lanes. So yeah, pretty cool talent for him to take. Hardened Bones is another real good one. But it is actually in this case Fnatic who is starting to take the lead in experience thanks to their pressure at the top lane, where they are currently using their 2 specialists to drop the 2 towers. Kunichan and Lowell are still having their little battle at the bot lane for experience here. But now it is starting to become more a fight against the Immortals, and you can really tell that the Immortal of Fnatic is already extremely low, but they have the faster level 7 talent, and maybe they can use that. Now we have also the Bed of Barbs on level 7 to kind of complete the early on build for Anubarak. BKB moving back again with a Wraith Walk. Manticore chosen for Vala. Illidan actually dying at the bot lane. Lowell getting a solo kill against him. That was a bit unexpected. Didn't see this one happening, but yeah, well played. The Immortal, on the other hand, seems to be ending up in the hands of Team Virtus Pro. Unstable moved in. Whoa, but dies for it. So it's a double kill against them. They get the Immortal, though. But now they might lose BKB as well, or Sefka. He's getting body blocked by Kesel. Really well done. Does he have the mana and the cooldown on another wall of zombies? Yes, and he puts it in. Really well played. Fnatic with 3 kills. Very solid performance here. They get Vala, Uther and Illidan, so good job by them. Level 7 talents now put also the cleanse into their hands, the same for Uther. And we are seeing the nests taken on level 7 for Abathur. So Abathur actually not going into... Well, he could have gone into a Mule here, for example. He could also have gone into Needlespine for additional damage. But he decided to use the Vile Nest, which slows the movements down. And it's a pretty nasty talent to use on this map, because if you put those mines into the mid lane, your opponent is kind of bound to walk over it at some point. It also gives you safety if you try to burrow onto lane later on to get into a better position to soak experience. If you then put those mines around and somebody's trying to chase you down, then you have a few seconds of warning that you can use for that. Searing attacks have been used on Vala, Gitbin of course for Nazeebo, Endless Creep for Zagara. Vision on this map is amazingly important, and if you have those creep tumors in the mid lane, you know about the positioning around those Immortals of your opponent, and that helps you to really just determine the angle from which you are going to attack. But of course on lanes themselves it's also important. So for now, Lowell is pushing the bot lane. They already took the Bruiser camp. Didn't time it with the next Immortal phase. That's what some teams do. Especially if you look at Bob and Meteor Makers. These teams usually try and use those mercenary camps, at least the Bruiser camp on this map here, once that the Immortals are about to spawn again. So they really time it out, and that helps a lot to push the opponent, because your opponent will have to make a choice. They'll see defend against the camp or go into the mid lane to get the objective. So this is one of the things that the teams can really still work on a bit, getting the timings for the camps right on this map. No Web Blast! Wow! Lowell goes for the fighting Locust Swarm here. No Web Blast to isolate Uther. Okay, that is unexpected. They go full on for brute force now in this game, not trying to just isolate Illidan when he jumps in and make sure that his healer is not able to help him out and try to burst him down, but instead they are trying to go for damage and sustain. They have Avatar and Locust Swarm now taken. I didn't really expect this, but so far the game has been going their way, so they can definitely try and use this. March of the Black King has been chosen. And let's see how they're going to be able to use that Locust Swarm in those fights if they have enough pressure. We have Sefka unstable, BKB and Kunichan in position. Already Muradin is attacking the Immortal, but up at the top lane, as expected, Andilendi trying to leech experience for his team while everybody else is busy with the Immortals there. He went into Ultimate Evolution, so he can use that as well. They already go for Lowell, but with the Under King, he has no problem joining up with the rest of the team and moving back right away. So far, a good job by them, and again, we're seeing both of them focusing on the Immortals now. So at this point, it's also, of course, the Reign of Vengeance that's going to be quite crucial here on Vala. Didn't go into Strafe. Had quite a few talents that could have stunned her out, especially, of course, Muradin and Anubarak. But still, with the Reign of Vengeance, if you hit that properly during one of those fights, then you can just do a lot of damage. It's not so much about the damage, it's more about the stun, but you get the meaning. That is the setup for the March of Black King. If you can coordinate that well, get a Reign of Vengeance in, and Leoric uses his own rogue ability at the same time in the same corridor, oh, you can drop targets super easy. They're already starting to move in. March not used yet. Here comes Illidan with the Divine Shield, jumps in. Zagara going for the Maw for the disengage, gets Vala and isolates also Illidan, so Kunichan had to move away. Very nice Maw here, sectioning off a hero. But we're now seeing them moving in against Leoric again. He uses his Wraith Walk to get out of harm's way. But now both of those Immortals getting rather low. Once that you reach them at half HP, they're going to change positions here randomly on those 4 spots. But the teams are closing in on it. And in experience, up at the top lane, Abathar is still doing his thing, still soaking XP. Everywhere there's even currently tumors on the map. Good stun against Illidan, but they move away again. BKB is still on half health, trying to use Drain Hope. They get kind of low here. Illidan with a copy, double Illidan, and Ilendi is actually going really deep for this one. They are going to burst him out of the Illidan copy in just a few seconds. I don't think that he's going to be able to do too much there, but at least he forces Lowell back, so that's already an achievement. Making sure that Anubarak cannot engage into the battle right away, but has to move back first. And now we're having them again meeting up in the middle here. Especially that Immortal on the side of Virtus Pro is already rather low, and they are trying to go in for the extra damage that he is going to be dropped. Nice kill against the Anubarak! The Reign of Vengeance has been used. The March of the Black King is still ready. A 5 versus 4. This was the first kill for Virtus Pro in this game. Level 12 versus level 12. We have Abathar doing his thing, making sure that he is getting the extra experience, and he is doing a very good job at that. Once more they're moving in here. This time it is Fnatic's Immortal that is getting attacked, and they're trying to drop it. We see everyone just like fighting for the Immortals. Even Gary is now joining up as Kesel used his heroic ability. The Gargantuan is in play. Breeze jumping into. It's really just every single point of damage matters. It's all about dropping your opponent's Immortal shields. If you can't win the objective, you can at least make sure that the Immortal is not going to be too strong. But Fnatic, after Anubarak is back, are the ones to move in and put in the last few damage points. Now they are going to have the objective, move onto the bot lane and to the top. There's still Abathar soaking, and experience is now much better for Virtus Pro. The Russian team really using this Abathar. Abathar is great on the map just because you can soak those 2 lanes, and even soaking 1 lane while everybody else is busy in the mid lane is great. It's also one of the reasons why oftentimes the Monstrosity is being picked. In this case, of course, with the setup that is being played with the melee assassin, it makes sense to go for the copy on Illidan. But you can really play the Monstrosity here and put pressure on the opponent so that they have to move away from the mid lane, and then you can really focus your attention to taking the objective. Right now, both of the teams hit level 13. Giant Killer on Vala. We're seeing, of course, also now the Soma Transference on Abathar with, wow, Leoric going for Burning Rage. He's angry. He wants more damage, doesn't he? And Anubarak going for Kaitina's plating here. So he wants a bit more safety, and I don't really blame him. I mean, he has at this point still Locust Swarm, so but he was one of the targets in those fights that Virtus Pro prioritized heavily. A double ice block now to help those 2 specialists. And, well, at least Nazebo, of course. Malfurion is being helped by the second ice block. Zagara just decided to go into Mutalisk, which is great, especially if you want to make sure that a hero like Illidan is being put under some pressure. And Kunichan is already looking for an angle where he can attack and maybe jump in. Copy on Leoric, pushed them back, and first, or the second fort in the game, falls as Virtus.pro moves in, but we have Fnatic engaging already. The Divine Shield on Vala. Vala moves in with the Rain of Vengeance. There's the March of the Black King with the damage in the backline. It's also another good more from Zagara. The stun right afterwards, stunning out Unstable. BKB is about to die, but he's still alive. He is still alive. The copy is down though, and Kodi-chan is very low, but Sefka with a last second heal thanks to reach. He is still in range. And we have Kasil moving in with his Tyrael Charger, but they cannot drop a target. Everybody is rather low though, and that is the chance that they are trying to take now to move in and do more damage. They can go for their own camp now, and that's exactly what they do. And this time it is timed. This time if they get the Bruiser camp over here, they can go for the Immortal, and Virtus.pro will have to deal with it somehow. But Virtus.pro is also moving to their own camp now, trying to do the exact same thing and make sure that one of those lanes is going to be pushing hard. Very good position here also for the Immortal. We have more pressure, more power at this point for Fnatic with this. Moving in early with Zagawa to drop the hit points. It's a bit of a race that we're seeing by the two teams, but so far it's a race that, well, actually nobody's really winning. I guess Fnatic is a tiny bit ahead, but not by too much. So the Immortals are basically on the same amount of experience. There's like a 3,000 or 2,000 hit point difference. Not a whole lot if you consider that they start out with 35,000 hit points at this particular moment. The bot lane is being attacked around. There's that camp, by the way, that we've been talking about. So Fnatic is starting to use that to put some more damage onto the lane. Here comes again the approach of Fnatic to the Immortal, but look at the experience. It's again Virtus.pro who's ahead. That Abathur is doing serious work. He's doing a lot of work here. 3 kills against 1. Again, the stun against BKB. That Wraith Walk is just such an amazing talent. It is so damn good. A lot of damage already put against the Immortal. Ah, Metamorphosis! Double Illidan is jumping in! And they are going straight for the Ice Block Malfurion, but he is going to use his Tranquility here, trying to heal everybody out. A great Rain of Vengeance by Unstable, and the March of the Black King. Fnatic getting wrecked in this case. Uther going down now too, but not before both of the tanks are already gone. Fnatic still has their damage alive though, and they are starting to put it to some use. They start to move in again. The Immortal of theirs is still at half HP, and now Fnatic is rotating down to the lane. They are trying to get this damage in that they need to just claim this Immortal. But look at Andy Landy. He was soaking everywhere, and this means level 16 talents already on the board for Team Virtus.pro. Fnatic is winning a lot of the fights, so at least they are able to get even kills. They have been doing quite well here, but it is still Virtus.pro in the lead. The top lane is being pressured. Both of the forts for Fnatic are already gone. That's of course another reason why we're currently seeing the Russian team in the lead. But here come the 16 talents. We have at this point also of course Benediction, and that is a great talent for Uther. Just that double stun, the double heal, whatever you want to do. We also see Illidan and Vala with Blood for Blood, so that extra hit point potion that you kind of have if you want to use it, drain your opponent. Oh, Illidan, Metamorphosis being used, but the stuns, he gets healed. He survives. I can't believe that he survived this. It looked for a second like he was already dead. Oh, well, actually, he nearly is. Divine Shield keeps him alive for another second, but Lowell with a good timing, he misses on the other hand. He's still alive. Kodi-chan is finally dying, but it took them an eternity. Vala also dead, but that was the time that Virtus.pro used to move to the bot lane to take down the keep. Jesus, they are everywhere, aren't they? The Russian team is dropping the keep here, and Fnatic is... They are just the ones always following. They don't really have the initiative in the game anymore. March of the Black King being used. BKB goes straight for that potential kill. But yeah, Leoric goes down. It's 7 kills against 3. But who cares about kills if you're an entire level ahead and also drop the first keep in the game. Great match here by Virtus.pro. We're seeing the 16 talents now ready for Fnatic with an imposing presence on Anubarak. And well, I think that's a great choice, because Illidan is everywhere in this game right now. Hardened Focus for Malfurion, Stone Form for Muradin. These two tanks are going to be so difficult to drop. Especially that imposing presence is of course amazing. Slowing down the attack speed of Illidan and Vala. Vala going for an auto attack build here with Giant Killer. You have to expect that your opponent is going to use imposing presence there. Muradin was probably thinking about using it as well. The only thing is that Stone Form is just so absolutely amazing that it's yeah, it's a tricky choice. You want to go for imposing presence, but Stoneform is just too good to pass up upon. Double Hunter Killer is going to make Illidan's life a bit harder in the next few fights as well. Great game so far. 17 minutes into the game, the first map of the best of 5 series here in the semi-final. The victor of this series goes up against Team Liquid in the finals, by the way, so keep that in mind as well. Having Kuni-chan already at the bot lane, chasing them down. He's going for Lowell. There's the stun! Divine Shield saving him again. Lowell about to die. He would have loved to have a Web Blast here. Getting rid of that Divine Shield would have been the play, in my opinion. Once again, we're seeing Leoric die, but I'm not sure if they care too much. Well, there's still a really good setup. Both of the healers are now suddenly dead. No level 20, and Mene is being dropped by Kuni-chan and Abathur. Abathur helping him with the additional damage here. Kuni-chan goes for Kaesel. Illidan is wrecking everybody. I personally, I said it at the beginning of the game, I really expected Web Blast to be taken so that they can make sure that Illidan doesn't get that Divine Shield by the opponent. If that happens, I feel they could have dropped him so much more. Illidan can really jump whenever he wants into the backline because he knows that Uther is going to be there. And that's the one thing that really surprises me a bit. I did not expect Locust Swarm. Web Blast would have been so much better for these team fights. Whereas, of course, on the other hand, the Locust Swarm gives you a bit more damage and also sustainability on the tank. But Illidan is the problem that they currently can't deal with. Every single time they're trying to drop him with stuns, with the Reverberation build that they're using on Breeze, he just gets a Divine Shield, he goes full ham on the opponent's team. And then he uses Metamorphosis, is still alive, there's the heal as well. It's just so tricky to drop him here, and together with Abathur, he's just wrecking faces now. 9 kills against 7, it's an entire level lead that we see for Virtus.pro. They have nearly level 20, they're still level 20, and oh boy, this is brutal. Now the Immortal is going to be on full shields. This bad boy is probably going to drop another keep. I mean, this is super difficult to deal with now. And the top lane is going to be assailed. Look at Vala there. Auto attack build-in goes now into her Nexus Frenzy. She's probably going to try and focus on Muradin as much as she can. And that alone should put the Dwarf in a really bad spot. Hive Mind on Abathur. God, it's really tricky. I'm a bit surprised to see Hardened Shield for Leoric, since I think the additional talent for the... for your March of the Black King is absolutely amazing, but then again, Hardened Shield is cool as well. They move in at the core, they're trying to put pressure on the core so that the Immortal can drop the top keep. Maybe they can even take the core here. More being used, and nearly the kill against Main, and they get the kill against Zagara, and the core is most likely going to fall here. Kuni-chan is using his Metamorphosis, they move in, 50%, the Immortal is going through the keep, 30% on the core, Uther about to die, he has redemption though, he's going to be back, and this is game. Virtus.pro takes game number 2 against Fnatic in this best of 5 series at the Topachat tournament.
Virtus.pro with a victory on map number 1. And really one of the big deals here was that Newbrook didn't go for that Web Blast that we expected. So Uther just could the entire time Divine Shield Illidan and heal him out there. And Illidan, he turned into a god in these fights, especially at the later stages when he had his abilities and everything up. He went through that Fnatic team and took everybody down. So Virtus.pro is in a 1-0 lead, and map number 2 is now coming up with Blackheart's Bay. And on Blackheart's Bay, it was actually Fnatic who drafted the Illidan. So they have Illidan now, they have a Johanna at the front line, and they're also supporting Illidan here with an Abathur. They didn't get the Uther is still on the side of Virtus.pro, but still, they have a lot of support for him, and with that Ancestral Healing, if Wube is able to get that through in time, then of course Illidan should have a pretty cool game here. Especially since this is Blackheart's Bay, and on Blackheart's Bay in general, Illidan is quite nice, because you can get all of these camps, you can get a lot of coins, you don't even have to engage into team fights, but if you have to, you still can rely on that strong melee assassin. Virtus.pro, on the other hand, they're trying with a bit of counterplay. They use a Muradin in here, and with a Muradin they also have an Arthas, which is actually quite smart, because Arthas can then slow them down with that aura that he has, with the Frozen Tempest, with the Howling Blast, and he can dish out a fair amount of damage with that Frostmourne of his, especially of course when he goes for Destruction on a level 16 potentially for Frostmourne feats, and I think in this case he can really... yeah, he can neglect Stone Skin, I would say, because he doesn't really need it with this particular lineup. One of the ideas of Virtus.pro is to really reach the late game. They have a Kalthas in their midst, so level 16 is going to be where he hits his big power spike. That's one of the things that they have to rely upon. And they have still a few heroes that can really push, especially of course Zagara, which is a great solo laner, and we will probably see her at the bottom lane, at least at the beginning of the game. Virtus.pro wants to take the 2-0 now. Fnatic, on the other hand, they want to tie the series up to make sure that they are not falling too far behind in this best of 5. They want to go to meet Team Liquid in the finals, and they will do everything now to win Blackheart's Bay and tie the series up. If they can do that, though, that's something that we find out together now on Blackheart's Bay.
Game number 2, everybody. The best of 5 in the semi-final between Fnatic and Virtus.pro. To the left side, Lowell on Illidan. He just basically said, buddy, I'm going to show you how Illidan is really played. He gets support from Kesel on Abathur, Wubi on Rega, Breeze on Johanna, and Mene on Vala. Virtus.pro, on the other hand, playing a double tank with Kuni-chan on Muradin and BKB on Arthas. They have Uther, played by Sefkaria, and you can also say that in the composition we have a Zagara, and, of course, a Khaldor. So this is going to be a pretty sick setup once again. Thanks also to our observer here, Karma, the French observer. We are currently watching a clean feed. I have to highlight that once again, so I can actually not show you the stats or anything. We rely very much on what he shows us, but the guy is doing a very, very good job. So yes, once again, we're going to rely on him and to show out what happens in game number 2 here in Blackheart's Bay. Illidan in this case is not going to be as aggressive as the Illidan that we've seen in the last game played by Virtus.pro, and the reason for that is that he does not have that divine shield that he can rely upon. Of course there's good heal with Rega, who has an ancestral healing, but the problem is that there are lockdowns on the side of Virtus.pro that he cannot dodge with the divine shield, so he needs to be a bit more careful and choose the times when he goes really deep wisely. There's also another big reason for that, and that is that we have a very nice counter strategy against Illidan with Muradin and an Arthas. Muradin with the Reverberation build is going to try and slow down his attack speed that Illidan very much relies upon, and we're seeing Arthas who will try and stop him with a Howling Blast. Oh, a nice lockdown already against not Illidan, but in this case it is Johanna. Unstoppable trade coming out, but super low. Where's Abathur? He's helping out, and Wubi heals Breeze in the last second, but that was a close call. I looked for a second like he might fall there. The coins, by the way, ended up in the hands of Sefkaja. At the bot lane, it looks like 4 coins at least were harvested by Fnatic. But talking about that Arthas again, Arthas was chosen last as the second tank in the game, and his job is really going to be to first of all put pressure on Illidan with damage, thanks to his destruction talent on level 4, and a potential level 16 Frostman feats, which I actually think is very likely, since I don't think that in this composition he's going to need his stone skin, but time will tell. But also, he will slow down that onslaught of Illidan with a Frozen Tempest and try to get the Howling Blast off too. Whereas, of course, a Stormbolt would be much easier to hit. You can, of course, turn that composition around as well. But that is the whole idea of using Arthas here. So trying to create some space for the rest of the team by slowing Illidan down, take some of that momentum away, and just be a force that Illidan has to deal with somehow. If there's too much, if there's not really a big front line, then those two backliners are going to be in a lot of trouble. Andy Landy and Unstable on Zagara and Khaldor. And talking about these two bad boys, they are in the mid lane already. These 4-man lanes is really something that Virtus.pro loves to rotate to, and they are using that, and that also forces Illidan into the mid lane. Illidan is actually one of those heroes on Blackheart's Bay that really wants to go for camps, and that's where he was, taking 2 additional coins, but now he has to jump in. Andy Landy, low, but good Howling Blast on BKB, and there's already that Frozen Tempest at work, creating some space for Zagara and everybody else to move away. Big victory still on the side. Oh, wow, Kuni-chan. That was a very weird Stormbolt there. I did not really expect this one. Yeah, that was a nice dodge on Mene. And Kuni-chan is nearly taken down. Okay, so at this point, we've seen already quite some action in the game, and especially that mid wall is completely destroyed. Virtus.pro loves to rotate quickly onto one lane with 4 heroes and then put some damage in, and that's what they did there. The cool thing about it is that, of course, those... What is Kuni-chan doing? Like, he's really trying to anticipate movements of Mene that just don't exist, and he gets wrecked for it. So, yeah, that did not work out in his favor. So Kuni-chan needs to make sure that he is getting those Stormbolts in. The problem really is that now they lose experience at the bot lane, well, or at least they would have if not for Zagara, who rotated down immediately. But up here at the top, I really like that those towers were taken out. And as I have been saying earlier, what Illidan really wants to do at this point is he wants to be out on the map and take camps. That is where he excels. That is where he can really put in the most value for his team. And the one thing that Virtus.pro kind of undermined with it is exactly this solo mercenary style that Illidan uses on the map, because them attacking the mid lane forced Illidan to rotate over and help out. The first ghost ship is in the hands of Fnatic now. Destruction, of course, taken on Arthas, by the way. Boundless Conviction for Uther, and Reach again for him now too. Abathur is using his mule. It's a great talent to have on the map, and we won't see a mule for the opponent's teams. That's a big advantage that Fnatic already has. Again, Kuni-chan not hitting that Stormbolt here, trying to. Mena is really giving him the runaround at this point. Wooby in the mid lane is soaking still some more experience, and Sefka is now ready for the turn-in, so they are going to get their first ghost ship as well, and that is going to drop the fort that we're seeing in the mid lane. It's a kill for Fnatic, 0 kills for the opponent. We have also now Searing attacks taken, and as already said in the draft, as I said, I think an auto attack build for Vala would have been a great choice, and that's exactly what he did. The reason is that there is no imposing presence available to Virtus.pro. You can of course now argue that Muradin could go into imposing presence because he has the talent available on 16, but if he does that, then he gives up stone form, and either way you're gonna be fine. If Muradin is willing to give that up to counteract the auto attack Vala and the Illidan, Fnatic is gonna be super happy with it. It's gonna say, okay, we can drop him later on a bit easier, but let's focus on the rest of the team first. If he uses his stone form, then Vala and Illidan have 2 targets. They can go for Arthas and for Muradin if they want to attack the frontliners. That is, of course, the priority targets would still be the damage dealers, but they can do that. So either way, it is going to be a situation that Fnatic is going to be okay with. So the choice to go into an auto attack here is great. I like it. An alternative would have been to go into an arrow build, which is also pretty solid. For now, we have both of the teams on nearly even experience. Fnatic was not really too happy about that loss on the first map, and well, one of the big things was definitely missing out on Web Blast for Nuburak, so that Illidan could actually turn into a god and take everybody down here. We're having camps taken again. That's another big reason, as pointed out earlier, why Arthas is really good here in this situation now, because he can also take those camps solo. Rune Tap is helping him with it, so he has that extra sustain that he needs to deal with it. Also, Army of the Dead now being used for him. We have Avatar, we have Phoenix, there's more, and Monstrosity taken for Abathur. I really like that. Monstrosity for Abathur is pretty cool. Andy Landy with the disengage here, and well, the shield glare is doing a bit of damage, but not enough to take down Zagara. We don't have a talent yet for Uther. In theory, he could go for the Divine Storm. Oh, Abathur actually taken out. Apparently at the bot lane here, they went deep for this kill. Mena is ready, but it looks like Virtus.pro is trying to push again with 4 heroes. Kuni-chan needs to be a bit careful because he's extremely low, but there's nobody else rotating. It looked like it's going to be again a trade in structures. Uh-oh, that's bad. Mena gets locked down, gets stunned. In comes Kuni-chan again, but Mena is able to rush away. He actually bought some time there. It's a risky play, but he bought some time. And Lowell is at the top lane busy with the rest of the team to make sure that this fort at the bot lane doesn't fall in vain, but that they actually get a structure on their own as a trade. We have still no talent taken for Uther. He could in theory go for the Divine Storm and use an additional stun against Illidan. If he wants to go for the Divine Shield, then he would have to apply it to one of the backliners most likely. But so far I could really see them go into an additional stun to just crowd control Illidan, or the hell out of Illidan during those fights. We have, again, an attack at the bot lane. Mena is really toying with fire. Not quite sure if I like this. He doesn't have self-sustain. Breeze moves in. Wow, that's the Divine Shield that they needed here. Oh, sorry, the Blessed Shield, of course. Also a kill against Uther. He went for Divine Shield, but it doesn't really look like he was able to get it off fast enough to save himself. 16 coins now on Illidan alone. 26 in total. Kuni-chan is there. The Monstrosity is moving in. Basically, Kazel is using it as a Tamagotchi here, just making sure that he keeps it alive. Whoopi even healing it and saying like, alright buddy, I gotcha. Chest spawning once more, as up at the top lane, Kel'Thas is soaking experience for Virtus.pro, but there is an additional turn-in, and this turn-in is now starting to focus the bot lane. It's one of the best maps of Fnatic, at least it was in the past with the old lineup, but the new one seems to be very fond of the map as well. They still have 25 coins! They just turned in, and they have 26 coins still available. God, if they can turn all of those in, that's basically a double turn-in. Especially if they take the Bruiser camp now too. The the top lane attack against the boss. Alright, Virtus.pro realizing that they have to make something happen here. Healing Surge now, Soma Transference, double Spell Shield. Is Fnatic moving in for this one? Doesn't look like they will. They will have to deal with the boss. But it's also a free turn-in. You can really tell that Fnatic doesn't even... They're not even bothered. Of course they know that they are there. Where else would they be? They are just checking the map. They're like, well, they're missing. What's up on the map? It could be at the hard camp, or they could go boss. Let's just go for the turn and make sure that we get rid of those coins. If we fight up there and they take boss, wipe us somehow and get all our coins, then the game is more or less lost. But we can sacrifice a fort here. We have no problems doing this. We have enough. By the way, we see also on level 13 now, Arthur's going into a cool talent to really deal with this Illidan situation. Frozen Tempest, increased damage. So this is going to make it even more difficult for Illidan to get the damage in. Again, the monstrosity is being kept alive by Abathur. He's rushing away with it, and I'm really liking that play on Abathur. Monstrosities are amazing if you take care of them. If they get stacks up, they have an amazing amount of damage and also hit points, so it's extremely strong what you can get out of them. And it's the value monstrosities moving within, again, probably named it to Rain of Vengeance against BKB. They're rushing in, the lockdown against Illidan. Oh, that heal! That heal! Whoopi with an insane heal in the last second. Perfect timing for him. Kuni-chan is down, Muradin dead, a good Howling Blast for the disengage, but they are so low, and we all know that Illidan is amazing at hunting down heroes. Whoopi is going straight for Sefka, healer versus healer with a bit of support from Mena. They drop Rhaegar, BKB is trying to run away, he's trying to hide. Yeah, not gonna happen, buddy, I'm sorry. He's trying to just be back, but this is not gonna work out. Mena, well, he's not dying here, or is he? Mena is low, but gets away, and they take the kill. 6 kills against 1. They have 18 coins now. Level 13 talents, as I said before. The extra damage on the Frozen Tempest for Arthurs is extremely important. Uther, of course, with the Shrink Ray. I mean, what else are you going to get on Uther when you're playing against a melee assassin? Of course it's Shrink Ray. It's an amazing talent against it. But right now, the fights here, they are all going in Fnatic's favor. Whoopi is buying some time for Breeze to turn in. That's another turn in right there. The mid lane is going to be attacked by the barrage, and we're seeing Fnatic just busy on the map again, taking camp after camp, coin after coin. These boys are doing some serious work here. And Virtus.pro need level 16 if they want to contest, because this talent is going to drop any second now for Fnatic. There it is. And they need a win. They need a team fight win. And without it, I don't think they can make anything happen. I love their rotations, by the way. I really like the way they're rotating on the map. I feel that's pretty cool. And they've been doing that in the last game as well. But also that attempt to boss was pretty solid. Right now, though, the rotations alone are not going to give them that lead. Every single fight, at least for now, is going to end up in the hands of Fnatic. They're going to win those out. There is the tidal wave. One imposing presence. We're having also a double blood for blood now, one on Vala and the other one on the side of Illidan. So in this case, they can use that now too to keep themselves alive a bit longer. But level 16 is going to be there. Just in a second for Virtus.pro. It is another turn-in though. They won't be able to get a full turn-in, but they have now, well, they need 10 more coins. These turn-ins are getting extremely expensive for them. We have the keep in the mid lane already lost. That means that the mid lane is going to push the entire time. A rotation to the top happening, since there is still a Bruiser camp pushing in the top lane against Fnatic. There's the imposing presence. Muradin actually went for it. We could theoretically see a second one on Uther. But yeah, Muradin went for imposing presence, didn't take stone form, and Uther is not willing to give up benediction for an imposing presence, so he doesn't take it. And as predicted early on in the game, we have indeed Frostmourne feats on level 16 for Arthurs. He wants the extra damage. He's putting it in. More for the disengage. Phoenix and Flamestrike already in play. Illidan is still there. He jumps in with a Metamorphosis and is about to drop Arthurs, but the Divine Shield keeps him alive. Here comes the heal. Great job against by Whoopi. Ooh, Andy Lendy getting healed. They neglect Arthurs for a second and he dies. Now Zagara is dead as well. Illidan might actually die, and yes, he does, but I'm not sure if that matters to them. They killed 3 heroes already. The dwarf is jumping away, trying to escape. Kuni-chan, the hate is real. They're all trying to lock him down. Breeze is already on the move with another condemn if he gets the chance to. Mena is rushing in with hit after hit after hit. The Stormbolt hitting him for now. Breeze already mounting up, making sure that Kuni-chan is not gonna escape here. Flame Strike and Phoenix, but Kuni-chan is about to die, or is he really gonna get away here? Oh wow, they move back. They actually move back. Look at the dwarf. He survives this one. A lot of time, of course, also lost by this move, but Whoopi used it to turn in. Great escape, the great escape of Murith Din in 2015. Well played here, well played by Kuni-chan. And Fnatic, they really had a hard-on for him, but they did not get him. Top lane, Barrage is probably not gonna, nah, it's not gonna drop the keep, it shouldn't. But Kuni-chan in the mid lane was even trying to cancel that attack, but yeah, he couldn't prevent the turn-in. Level 18, nearly 19 now against 16, and of course on 16 it's not only about those imposing presence and the anti-Illidan play with Frostmourne feeds and everything else. It's really important to have that double hunter killer to put pressure on the melee assassin, but more important is Ignite on Khaldor. So far, 9 kills against 2. The boss is up again, and Fnatic is already saying, forget it, guys. You got one, you're not gonna get this one for free. Lowell is healed out, but they want to fight. It's even talents. A 2-level disadvantage, but even talents, and they are moving in again. This is the chance that they have. They burst Illidan away, and now it's a completely different ballgame. Fnatic has to run. They have to run. They cannot fight this. They have the monstrosity up in the top lane too. Maybe they should have just accepted the boss and pushed the bot lane, trying to... The keep, by the way, at the top lane also fell. They could have forced a B back. They could have rotated to the bottom lane, tried to pressure the keep, and forced Virtus.pro to decide if they want to lose a keep or take the boss. And right now, this is getting a bit tricky. I mean, it's only Illidan that died, you know, it's not too bad. The boss, of course, is claimed. There's nothing you can do about this one. They will defend against it, but it gives some map control to Virtus.pro, and they have very cheap turn-ins. They have 8 coins. 2 were stolen away by the Siege Giant camp claimed by Fnatic, but still, they can now take a few more camps, or at least try to, and then get a turn-in, which is pretty easy for them. Fnatic is going to hit level 20 though, and that's going to help. So I feel that move that they made at the end there, where they were trying to threaten keep a bit, it's something that they could have done from the start instead of trying to contest boss. Still, since they were on 16, so they were like in talent-wise on 16. Of course, they were already in level 19, but they could have just bought some time, you know. Get level 20, Demonic Form is there, double Storm Shield, by the way. Oh my god, not even Indestructible chosen on Johanna, but they want to go for the Storm Shield. All that counterplay against Kalthas's area of effect damage is sick. Even a blink now on Vala. And look at Abathur, not going for Hive Mind. Instead, we're seeing him with the extra talent for the Monstrosity, so he can burrow the Monstrosity over the map now. He can take down that keep easily with this ability, or he can just simply appear behind Kalthas during the team fights and just say like, hey buddy, how you doing? Eating a spine today? So yeah, one of those needles gonna hit him hard. Whoopi and his boys have 14 coins. Well, the turn-in was successful by Virtus.pro, but now that is an opportunity that we are seeing for Fnatic to just maybe like wait this out, turn in, not fight yet, just buy some time. And they're even moving in at the bot lane and trying to drop the wall. They're not gonna go for keep yet, but they are going to take a few of the structures down, and we all know how important those turn-ins are gonna become here. Yep, the wall down, and goodbye tower. Now they just move back. Are they going to try and engage? Flame Strike, not hitting anybody here. Kuni-chan, Andilendi is not getting them all. He's not getting them all off. Nearly level 20, by the way, for Virtus.pro now too, so Fnatic has to be careful. This is also why they attacked with this timing, because they knew that this was happen. Abathur is still controlling his monstrosity and playing this very safe, but at the top lane he's now going for the deep push. So yeah, using that really well. Wow, triple catapult already. That is going to be a horrific push against them. They're starting to go in again. This is not a time when you want to fight. At least Virtus.pro doesn't want to fight. Actually, they want to engage, but they don't have 20 yet. Now they should, though. Yeah, there it is. Uh-oh. Zagara stunned once, twice, but before she can blink, she is down. It's a 5 versus 4, and Fnatic is going to be happy to fight here. They say, even with our coins, we are going to risk this one. If you want to fight, boys, then hell yeah, just come and get us, because we are ready for it. Already indestructible, or at least the Iron Skin being used. Lowell is also there. They have the coins that they need to turn in again. They're actually too short, but they're getting them right now. And another turn in will drop the keep at the bot lane and already apply a bit of damage to the core. It's a fight again. There is the fight, and apparently it looks like they were trying to buy some time. But oh, good Storm Bolt here. Really nice one. Kuni-chan actually with the bolt at the right time. Chests are up. Now they're trying to turn in. The zoning already happening. BKB is eating a lot of damage. This monstrosity is not joking. That monstrosity this late in the game with a level 20 talent and full stacks, hell yeah, that does damage. That is serious business right there. The turn-in is successful. The chests are still on the map, and Fnatic might go for it. 4 seconds on Zagara. Again, the pressure against BKB. Mane is there, and up at the top, Kuni-chan. Kuni-chan off the horse. Moves in. Nice Stormball, but the Iron Skin was ready. Great job by Breeze. They're trying to disengage. They're going towards the coin. The bot keep is about to fall. They're moving in already. Zagara is finally with the team again. Here comes Metamorphosis immediately being used. They're going for Arthur's. Arthur's Divine Shielded, but Kuni-chan is in a bit of trouble. They're going to go for the Dwarf. It looks like they go for both of the tanks. Great heal against Illidan. Again, perfect play here from Mubi. A double kill against the tanks. The front line is gone. They keep already losing its shields. And this could be Fnatic with a claim on Blackheart Spay, trying to win this one. Oh my god, Kalthas. Mena! Oh, did they use... Yes, they used the Storm Shield there. I was actually wondering if Mena would die, but no, the Storm Shield held them out. So, still tricky. The tanks are down, but the damage dealers are still there. Lower. Oh, wow. The heal by Whoopi. They try to get the core, but I'm not sure they can. Not even with all that they accomplished already can they drop the core. It's a 5 versus 3, but Lowell, he has more coins than hit points. That's basically what happens here. Well, to be honest, he has 0, but still, it looked like he had 0 hit points too. So, Breeze is still waiting around. They're just taking camps. The problem really is that they need 22 coins now if they really want to turn in again. There are chests on the map though. There are chests. That's 10 coins right there. If they turn them in early on, then they will have a solid amount. I mean, they have 11 coins, so that's half the battle right there. And there's still 5 coins at the chest down here. If they turn all of that in, then it's child's play to get the rest of the coins, since there's still camps around everywhere. At the bot lane there's a camp, there's camps to the left, the Siege Giant camp, there's a Bruiser camp as well, and one turn-in would end the game. At 93% on the core, if you turn in, game's over. Game is just simply over. There's nothing else to do. So Mena is getting those too. 15 coins. They have 5 more. That's 22. They need 2 more coins, and then they're golden. So this is going to be this is basically a lost. This is checkmate. If they play it smart, if they don't YOLO into a team fight and lose their coins and get wiped, then they've won the game. It's a checkmate position. BKB and his guys have to commit. They have to do something. They cannot sit tight. They can't. Because the only thing that's going to happen is that the lanes are going to push in against them. Abathar is going to use his monstrosity movement. Why is Fnatic fighting? I don't think they have to. I really think they don't have to fight here. This is a risk, and I'm not sure why they take it. And again, they could defend at core, but they are fighting it. Oh, the heal! Jesus! Just barely Whoopi keeping himself alive. Illidan, on the other hand, is getting attacked. Great Rain of Vengeance by Mena. But the kill against Rhaegar. Down at the bot lane, a huge push though against the core. But Fnatic is making a mistake, I feel. They should not try and fight like this. If they allow Virtus.pro to claim the keep, they can defend at core. But the only thing that really can happen here is that they lose a fight and then they lose the game. But if they just rotate and threaten core with a monstrosity, with a rotation, then they force the opponent back, then they can turn in or they can take boss. They have 3 great targets on the map that they can use and just play it very strategically and win it. But they go for fights and they kill it, actually, Kel'Thas. And that's amazing. I mean, that's all that they kind of have to do. They need to wait, or they should wait for Rhaegar. They don't have to fight here. They could wait for Rhaegar. They don't have a healer. That's risky. But Arthas is defending against the top lane, and he has to. So it's a 4 versus 3, and they kill Meridian. So it's all good. But it's definitely a risk that they took. That's definitely a risk that they took here, but it is over. So they win it after all. There's definitely teams that would have played this a bit safer and tried to rotate, but they realized they had a chance after they killed Kel'Thas. It was a risk moving into the position there, but keeping up the pressure is also important. And now the turn-in is, well, it's not completed actually. Well, there it is. 3 coins, and with a completed turn-in, this is game. The GG has already been called. Lowell is just like sitting there. This is the 1-1. The ghost ship is ready. Whoopi is back to business as well and using another ancestral healing. They are toying around a little bit, using their heroics and everything. Storm shields, boom, boom, boom. Everything is going off. And of course, the core is getting finished by the ship. The barrage is finishing this game 1%, and there's the last kill. The monstrosity is doing the deed. Very well done here. It's a 1-1, it's a tie in the best of 5 at the semi-final of the Topachat tournament.
Fnatic definitely knows how to play Blackheart's Bay. Again, they win it here, and now of course the series is tight. It is a best of 5, so we have potentially 3 more maps coming in, but let's find out who's going to take the lead now. It is Khaldor that will be our next map, and we have of course both of these teams trying to go for strong drafts again, which in this case is actually putting a Stitches into the hands of Fnatic. They try to go for a sniper composition with a Tyrande, Uther and the Stitches. You try to get a target hooked, and then you get those double stuns in immediately. You play, of course, the Ranger's Mark that we are seeing on the side of Tyrande, and then you try to drop that target. And if you also have a Jaina in your midst, then you can do a lot of damage then. That's exactly what they're trying to do. Tyrande usually played a little bit different than what we've seen from Virtus.pro throughout the series so far. They really like to go for that auto-attack Tyrande as well, and it really works well for them. But most of the Tyrande players out there will focus more on the Owl build if they want to dish out damage. Now for Virtus.pro, of course, it's really important to kind of deal with this a bit. They have also a Tyrael who could Judgment in after a hook if he wanted to. There's also sanctification that he could take. Yeah, Tyrael has to justify a lot of things, but this is not one of them. So both of the heroic abilities for him are these days viable. We have a Muradin once again in there as well, and they have a lot of pushing power once more, especially with that Zagara in their midst that they really seem to focus in these drafts right now, which is obviously a really good choice since she's amazing also for disengage with more. But we have them there with a lot of pushing power on the lane, and they have again the Khaldors that they rely upon, which they already tried in the previous games. So one of the teams is going to take the lead now. Khaldor is our map, and well, we're going to jump in right away to find out which team is going to be able to take game number 3.
And we're off to the races! Game number 3 in the best of 5 series here at the semi-final. Stitches, played by Breeze. He wants to play, and so does Lol on Azebo, Main on Jaina, Kesel on Tyrande, and Whoopi on Uther. For Virtus.pro to the right side of the map, it's BKB on Muradin. We have Sefka on Rhaegar, and Ilendi on Zagara, Unstable on Kel'Thas, and the second tank in the game is Tyrael, played by Kuni-chan. This is going to be pretty cool, because we have a tie. We have a tie in the series, and game number 3 is going to show us who will take the lead in this game. And I am super excited to see his Stitches again. He wants to play, and King Stitches is in the house. Kesel rocking that skin on Tyrande. I'm loving it. Looking at the builds here, the Icelands talent taken on level 1, so the extra range, reach has been taken here. Pretty awesome. For Stitches, there's basically only one build out there, and that's of course with Chewier Food into Amplified Healing and Tenderizer. You go for the sustain build. We have with the Icelands good range now on Jaina. That's especially cool if you just try and cancel someone channeling the Tribute. That's really nice. That's one of those cool things that you can do here. The talents that we're seeing from Muradin also going into the Storm Bolt. Perfect Storm on level 1, so he's going to get the extra damage and is going to try and farm that. We have a pretty cool setup for snipes. I mean, the whole idea, in case that you're not familiar with the composition that Team Fnatic is playing here, the whole idea behind it is to roam exactly with those 3, and the kill against Rhaegar. Get wrecked, dog. So yeah, they're kicking the dog. You could see the combo in action, alright? So this is what they're going to try and do throughout the entire game. Get a hook, get the stun in right afterwards with Tyrande or Uther, one of the two. Tyrande applies the Hunter's Mark, and then you burst the target down, you lock it down with as many stuns as you possibly can, and that's exactly what you're going to go for. So it's actually like pretty cool to go for something like it, and I'm pretty happy with that. We're having now... to see that again, because it was like, this is, I don't want to call it old school, because old school would be the wrong word, you know, the game has only been out for like 1.5 months, but back in the alpha, in the beta, this is something that we've been seeing a lot, and now it's making a bit of a comeback. So I'm pretty happy that we have it. And on level 16 you're going to get that fishing hook for the extra range. And Breeze, oh, nice dodge. BKB was really timing this one. And you should not try to do that stuff at home or in Hero League, because if you do, you're going to fail and you're going to lose me the game, and then I'm going to be mad and salty. So don't try that, and make sure that that they don't even get hooked. But very, very nice dodge there that we saw from BKB. It was actually pretty cool. I like that. So we have now again the hook attempts. They are just putting so much pressure now on the lanes. But Virtus.pro is not really phased by it too much. I mean, they're just sitting down here. They know exactly what's happening, and they're just saying like, ah, You can hook, we are going to be absolutely fine. So currently we have the level 4 talents coming into play, and it is indeed Pierce. I am not envying Virtus Pro this game, because it's, even if they win it, I can promise you one thing, it's going to be annoying. And why is that? Boundless Conviction taken, Pierce taken for the Owl, and we're also seeing now the reach on Jaina's Icelands. Already in play against Kuni-chan, and the kill. So what does all of that mean that I just listed? It means that it's going to be extremely difficult to channel a tribute, because there's 1,000 interrupts that Fnatic can use. So even if you win this game, it's going to be a pain to play, and I guess that's the whole reason why they went for exactly this setup. But yeah, this is definitely one of those matches where you think you have a tribute already caught, and then all of a sudden there's like an owl comes in, flies into your mouth, there's feathers everywhere, and just like get all this stuff away. You channel again, and suddenly there's an Icelands. A second later, there's the Boundless Conviction coming into play on Uther, and you're just going to be super frustrated and kill yourself at some point because you can't just stand it anymore. Level 4 talent for Rhaegar. Did I really just see him go for the Shadow Wolf with the level 1 healing totem? Did that really just happen? Normally Shadow Wolf is a talent that is only taken if you go for the mana reduction on your chain heal on level 1, and we don't have that. Nice dodge, I like that, but he gets stunned once, and BKB gets dropped. I like the stun or the dodge on the hook, but then of course you move yourself in the bad spot as well. But I really think that Rhaegar chose Shadow Wolf. I think I saw that shimmer of the invisibility for a second, and if he did, then I'm a bit surprised, because most players only use it when they have the mana reduction on level 1, so that they don't need Feral Heart to have the sustain in lane. If you don't do that, then you run out of mana real quick, and you oftentimes end up going back, and you can't stay in the fight as long as you normally could. So that's an interesting choice. Sefka must be quite confident in his abilities to use all of that. So he's probably gonna... Yeah, he has Shadow Wolf. So he's probably gonna hold back on a few of his totems, I suppose. We have on level 7 now the Frostbitten talent still taken on Jaina. Sometimes when there's an Icelands focus in the build for Jaina, we are seeing the level 7 talent with a reduction on hit. 2 seconds, which is actually pretty cool too. Full Stormbolt build here for Murden. And Kuni-chan is moving in. They try to go for Mena. Here comes the hook, but Mena is isolated and taken down. Jaina goes down, and that's the first kill for Virtus Pro. Pretty cool game so far, actually. I really like this. Like, this is a fun game to watch, at least for now. Stitches with that threat against Virtus Pro, them trying to rotate, establishing a position with a healing ward in the backline. Oh, Kuni-chan! Yeah, well, he was already in cooldown on his escapes, and therefore no chance for him. Good hooks, by the way. Breeze really with solid hooks in the game at this point. We're having also now up to the top lane, Andy Len. Look at the creep spread. I mean, basically, Zagara is littering the entire time. Like, there's dirt everywhere. I'm always wondering, like, who cleans all of this shit up? In StarCraft, it was pretty clear who was like cleaning after the Zerg invaded the planet. It was those automatons that were just everywhere on the map. But we don't have them in Heroes of the Storm, so who's cleaning all this shit after the game's over? I mean, somebody has to do that, right? And the mules can only be spawned so often, so they need an automaton here. Dustin, if you're listening, there's a thought right there. We need some critters that clean up all that stuff after the game's over, because it's just not fair. So yeah, Zagara is not going for endless creep here. It's not the perfect vision on the map. She went into rapid incubation on level 7, which is pretty cool, especially of course if you want to have the lane sustain with the additional mana there. But going into, like, dropping all of those creep tumors, she has very good vision on the top lane, and that's important. The Putrid Bile on Stitches. Haven't seen Stitches go for Gorge in a competitive play in a long time. But now we are having Water Elemental, Gary the Gargantuan, it's Starfall and Divine Shield for them. And they have a bit of a lead in experience as well. But Virtus Pro is rotating through the map now, starting to take a few camps. They also got one of the tributes earlier on, but now it's the next one that they are fighting for. It was actually for a second, it looked like on the minimap Tyrael was going for Tyrande. That didn't happen. Level 10s, that's what you need first. And here they are, Judgment is used. Rhaegar will have to really pay attention to when... and there it is! And the cleanse! Already cleansing out the stun, but pretty late actually. I don't really think that did too much. So Kuni-chan gets this one off. Divine Shield used now as well. We have Phoenix in play and Starfall. Sefka is nearly dead. Oh, the Water Elemental nearly killed him here. Kuni-chan is extremely low. And there's the heal. Kesil gets away. Kuni-chan is dead, but that was a close one. That could have gone the other way. Sefka nearly dying to the Starfall, and he is moving in again, but Whoopi... BKB is about to get stunned. No, it's the other way around. A double stun thanks to the piercing ball that BKB has on level 7. And that flame strike did work. Just imagine that on level 16 with the ignite. Oh my god, that would have hurt. But for now, they get away and they are trying to create some space for Whoopi to channel the tribute, and he's able to do that. Yeah, Whoopi actually in this case with a pretty late cleanse when the judgment hit, you could see that. So the damage of course is something that you can't cleanse out, but you can cleanse out the stun. He was so late on his cleanse though that it basically didn't matter anymore. Probably a bit surprised there. And yeah, that nearly resulted in a kill on Tyrande. Case was just barely able to get away. Breeze! Oh, so close. Zagara just barely going behind that wall. So Lowell is already applying the pressure. He was joking earlier that his Nazeebo is only on level 6. Of course, with those pro players, they play mostly with those heroes in custom games, and there you don't get any experience. So that's why even I have like a lot more games than a lot of the pro players, and that's because I play more Hero League and quick matches than a lot of the players that just focus solely on playing custom games, for example. So that's where a lot of those games come from. That's also one of the reasons why oftentimes you look at an account of a pro player and you're wondering why they don't have more heroes on level 10 or higher. And that's exactly the reason. Over here, we have Whoopi moving in. Again, Flame Strike. And nice Divine Shield. Oh, and he gets the hit against Sefka. Sefka healing himself, not dying. Wow. Starfall and the Phoenix doing work. But again, Gary is moving in now too. Andy Lendy is rather close. Oh, no cleanse this time. They're jumping in. Tyrael with a judgment. But there's nothing to follow it up. Then the kill against Rhaegar. This is Sefka going down here. The stun comms are there. Mane with a really sneaky position here to put some additional blizzard damage on the BKB. It's still 6 kills against 1 in the game, and this could be cursed. The roaches are now gone, and this is going to be a curse against Virtus Pro. They rotated, by the way, to have a hero on each lane, making sure that they get the experience, but they're also going to lose the boss up at the top lane. And that level 13 talent that is now going to hit any second for Fnatic is going to give them another lead. Yeah, of course, Zagara knows what's going on here and already tries to use the Banelings to will them down in HP. BKB is moving into no level 13, but it's a 5 versus 4 for now at least. Pudric Vial being used. Breeze is on the spot, as is BKB. Oh, there's the 13 overflowing light, but this could backfire. Fnatic is in a bit of trouble. Divine Shield used, and they get the kill against 2. Tyrael down, Muradin down. Oh, Breeze is falling. Whoopi, no, he's going to die, isn't he? Kaysil moves in, but they steal the boss. Oh my god. It's 2 for 2 kills, and they get the boss. The Water Elemental kills Unstable. Kel'Thas was getting away. Wally, the Water Elemental, takes down Kel'Thas. This is so frustrating when it happens. It's one of those kills where you're just sitting there, you're trying to run away, and you're just like, God, please help me. Someone do something. And yeah, you just slowly watch your health bar declining, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm gonna die to this, aren't I? So apparently he didn't have the gravity lapse available, he couldn't do anything there. But still, they stole the boss away. 9 kills against 3 now. And, well, this looks like the fort up to the top is not gonna fall. But it's still the extra talent that we're now having on the side of Virtus Pro. So it's basically just an even position in the game. 3 forts alive for both teams. Level 13 talents. We're seeing, by the way, Feral Lunge now taken for Rhaegar, not going for the healing surge. He's like, well, boys, I have the damage here. Uh-oh, and talking about damage, Whoopi. Yeah, Divine Shield for him, and he is not gonna make it, though. Yeah, they're trying to more rotate in even with Andy Lenny. Whoopi is actually surviving for a surprising long time, buying his team a bit of time to go for that Bruiser camp. But now we are also having the boss attacked again, and, well, Virtus Pro is gaining a lot of traction and momentum here on the map, because this can't be contested. Well, the Hook, on the other hand, could drop a time. Oh, nice! Good stuff. Great more there in the last second by Zagara, but it was a little bit too late. The boss is taken, and they jump in and take down Tyrande. Alright. So 1 kill, and they're gonna lose more than that. I don't think that Breeze is gonna make it. Nope, he gets stunned once. Actually, they could let him go. They let him go for now. He's trying to hook again, but Unstable gets healed with an Ancestral Healing. Look at that selfless dog. Sefka not healing himself. He's healing Kel'Thas instead. Up at the top, we have Yeah, Lowell still attacking. He's pushing that lane in. He went through the fort, so they took that, and they are also applying damage to the wall. It's a bit of a weird one here. So this is becoming a bit strange. Level 16 talents now for Fnatic. That gives them the fishing hook. They also have the Ranger talent. That helps, of course, Tyrande with more and more damage in the game now. The leaping spiders on the Zebo make him even more annoying than he already is. And Benediction is going to make it easier for Wooby to heal his allies. The level 16 talents for the opponents, on the other hand, that means holy ground. Great talent to steal bosses from your opponent. Chat already proved that. The Huron team player has shown that first when he chose the talent and just put it right on the spot on the circle. Pushed everybody out. That was like a week or two back. It was real funny. And we also see Ignite. So, yeah, so this is a bit... Okay, so right now, team fights 5 versus 5, right? Everybody just going like against each other. Virtus.pro has the edge because they have now the Flame Strike on level 16. But if you get a quick hook with a nice fishing hook, like a long distance hook, you can snipe a target. If you get Khaldor, for example, he is going to melt away. And the same is also true for Zagara. If you get that damage in, then it's a completely different ball game. Yeah, that mod didn't really do a thing. But Sefka down here needs to help out Kuni-chan. Mena is extremely far off. And they take him down, turning this into a 5 versus 4 again in favor of the Russian team. And this should really help them to get another tribute there now. Already the rotation to the mid lane, where we see the Bruiser camp putting some pressure onto the mids. Yeah, and Unstable is going to get the channel here. It's the second tribute for them, though it's not too much of a big deal. Breeze with Chew Your Food. Yeah, uses his talents. Oh, that hook was close. But yeah, 10 kills against 6. So when it comes to the kill count, Fnatic is still ahead, but also a lot of those kills were done in the early game, and that is where Fnatic had a massive advantage thanks to that roaming squad with Tyrande, Uther, and Stitches. So a pretty solid setup here with more siege giants now taken. Now that tribute is gone, both teams are saying, okay, let's go back. Take camps, take objectives, wait for the next tribute, and wait for a potential kill. Wooby is waiting for the camp. Why is he waiting? I'm actually like wondering right now. Well, up at the top lane, I actually don't know. Is he waiting for something to happen, like a boss coming up? I don't know the timers. I don't see the timers right now. But the bosses should be down for another like 2 minutes. This one is, and the one at the top should also be down for, well, maybe not too long. If they take, there's the tribute. Okay, so they apparently take it with the tribute. Alright, they marked down the time of the tribute capture, and then of course, then they waited for another tribute to spawn and then took the camp here. So I guess that was the purpose of this one, to make sure that the top lane is getting pushed a bit. And yeah, so they move in for it right now. We have, again, this channel, but Pierce is making it possible for them to interrupt, but not for too long. Yeah, Unstable is in the back lane. That's the curse right there. No, he actually cancelled it. Did he cancel? I didn't see anything interrupting him. Apparently he cancelled for a spell, and now they're moving against them. The Phoenix is there, and a potential kill against Tyrande. She got shielded, but she drops anyways. So there's, oh my god, it's also a kill against Jaina. It's a double kill. Virtus.pro is starting to completely dominate the fights in this game. So much damage on their side, and they are using it. They have that setup with the Maw for Khaldor. They don't even need it in those close quarters here. And a boss is about to be taken. And Virtus.pro actually cancels the tribute. They're saying like, hey, we know that there are only 3 players on the map. We have 5. There's nothing that we have to be afraid of. They cannot contest this at all. Let's take the boss first. Channel the tribute later. Curse them so that the boss is going to get the maximum amount of damage in. And that's exactly what they're currently trying to do here. And they can easily do it as well. Fnatic is in an absolute horrible position right now. This is really, really tricky. I am a bit afraid for them, to be honest, because this could very well be the beginning of the end. The curse is there, the tribute is moving in. Fnatic could be 1 game down after this one. The teams are, of course, aiming for level 20 now, and at least in that regard, they are not too far behind. If they hit level 20 and Virtus.pro does that as well, then it's going to be a pretty cool endgame that we're seeing between the 2 teams. But for now, Virtus.pro is not only calling the shots here, they are doing just amazingly well. The fort at the top lane is down. Oh, Wooby! Ah, well, BKB missing a Stormbolt, and that means Wooby gets away. With that Stormbolt, might have been a different story, but of course the boss of the bot lane, that's a different thing. Right now, why was Wooby there? Pretty easily, like, he's trying to soak experience. It's the one thing that you have to do. Try to catch up in experience, because there's level 20 now, and it's going to be another boss, and I am pretty sure that Virtus.pro is going to start to push in with one of them. There's still 18 seconds on that curse. Jeez. Oh, and there they move in. They want to keep now. And they have a double hardened shield. They have a double bolt of the storm. A storm shield as well. Oh, but the hook against Tyrael. But the cleanse and shields are being used here too. So Kuni-chan is alive. And they go straight for keep. And Fnatic can't even contest this. The keep is gone. And they just need to make sure that they don't lose more than that. The problem is that right now it could be a move for core. It should be a move for core. And it is a move for core. They are going in. The boss is there. But they are starting to be a bit low. They try to go for Uther. 1 stun, 2 stuns. Uther nearly dead. And he's dying. He has no redemption. And this could be the end. The boss is applying so much damage already. Yes, Virtus.pro. They are trying to end it here. They could right-click the core right now. Unstable is delivering the poke damage thanks to the flame strikes. There it is again. And this is going to be a 2-1 lead for Virtus.pro in this best of 5 series at the semi-final. Job well done and GG, a 2-1 lead for them. And game number 4 going to come up in just a few minutes here at the Topachat semi-final. And again, Virtus.pro with the lead. They win Cursed Hollow. They're 2-1 now against Fnatic. And the 4th map is Haunted Mines. Fnatic suddenly puts Haunted Mines on the table. And guys, the draft that we've seen here, it was just like, wow, what's happening? We have an Illidan composition with an Abathur on Haunted Mines for Fnatic. And that might not be as much of a surprise. Abathur is actually better on Haunted Mines than people give him credit for. We also see them with a Tychus here in the late game. And that draft is still pretty normal. It's aggressive draft. It's something where you really try to win those team fights. You have a lot of good heroes here that, especially in the early stages of the game, are quite strong, which is all that Haunted Mines is about. Illidan, of course, is going to hit his power spike a bit later, but even at the beginning, with Abathur support, he can really do a whole lot, and he also has an Uther to help him out, so it's all good for them. But Virtus.pro all of a sudden decided to go into ETC. They just drafted an ETC there and said like, well, we need a tank. And ETC is it. The Rock God, 100% beef. We are going to use him now. And that was very unexpected. I didn't really see ETC coming into play here. We have a Tyrande for them. A lot of the heroes were burned out, so you couldn't really go for that Tyrande Mirrodin composition in the early game that it's really strong there. And they decided to just play this with an ETC, a potential mosh pit coming in. And of course, they also have now the opportunity to use the power slide to stun a hero out, maybe follow up with a Tyrande stun and snipe them early. If that's enough to take down Fnatic and win the series with a 3-1, or Fnatic is going to take Haunted Mines now to tie the series up once again, that's something that we'll see on the map itself. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. The game is on. Once again, Haunted Mines, and we have game number 4 in the series between Fnatic and Virtus.pro. To the left side of the map, Lol on Illidan, Mene on Tychus. Hell, it was about time. Breeze on Anubarak, Wubby on Uther, and Kesil on Abathur. Abathur here on Haunted Mines. To the right side of the map, it's Virtus.pro with Kuni-chan on Vala, Sefkaja on Malfurion, Unstable on Tyrande, Andilendi on Zagara, and BKB on ETC. Hell yeah! Ready to rock. So this is going to be awesome. 100% beef, and I can't wait for this one. Looking at the lineup, to be absolutely frank, looking at it, I would have said, alright, Fnatic, they got this. The draft looks good for them. Illidan is going to be strong here. They have a Nubarak for the Web Blast. The Uther is going to support Illidan. Abathur is going to support Illidan. And Abathur is a bit... Oh, they already jump in. Super aggressive there. The stun against Anubarak, but they're trying to go for Vala. And the quick heal. And now they move away. Vala is a bit... well, Abathur is actually a bit undervalued on this map, I feel like. Oftentimes it's being said that Abathur is a really bad hero on Mines, and it's definitely not his best map out there, but to be honest, he's not as bad as people make him out to be, because he can soak the extra experience when the fight is running in the bot lane, and also if you keep your locusts on the golem lane, it will drain tower ammunition, and that helps your own boss to get some more damage in. One of the best heroes on the map is still Sylvanas for that very reason, when you can use your Shadow Dagger, or in general just like your Black Arrow, but still Abathur can have a huge impact on a map. And with the lineup that we are seeing for Fnatic, he makes sense. We have the auto attack build for Vala, of course also quite understandable since they are going to try to drop Illidan in those fights. And it's not going to be an easy battle for them because they have nothing to really interrupt the Divine Shield. And if you remember the first game that we saw in this best of 5 series, Andilendi getting blocked, Wubby with the blocks, and the kill. Great kill here. Somebody has to rotate over to the top lane to soak experience now, and it looks like it's going to be BKB. Wooby, is he already waiting for him? Not quite, but gets the stun in there, yeah. But as I said, if you remember the first game that we saw in this best of 5 series on Battlefield of Eternity, then you know that Illidan with an Abathur and a Divine Shield basically turns into this demigod that just can take down an entire team. So that is one of those things that we might see in this game now as well. We have Moonburn on level 1 for the extra damage against minions and mercenaries for Malfurion. ETC going, of course, for his power slide that we have there. Trying to just make sure that he has a chance to really get that utility tank into play. Tychus with an overkill on level 1, he is going to be really good, I feel, in this game, because they can create so much space for him. Illidan dodging the fight at the top, and now the mines are open. And the first mines oftentimes set the pace of the game. We have Breeze already pushing in. They're trying to get a slight lead in experience, that they're going to hit the earlier level 4. And Abathur, by the way, did not go for any Locust talents, but for the full Illidan support. I mean, of course, this is what he really, that's what he does, that's what he wants to do. In the mines, the fight is already starting with Lowell rushing in. Wooby is there. Breeze for the stun. ETC moving away, but Tyrande is about to die. So is Illidan, though. Both of them dead, but it's another kill against Zagara that puts Fnatic ahead. They are now 4 versus 3 in the mines, if you count Abathur. And with the Abathur support, they are trying to go for the next target. Wooby already turning around. They go away from Kuni-chan and start focusing a bit more on the rest of the team. Sefka is playing a 2-arc here, just rushing around and trying to get skulls. And the same thing for Kuni-chan. They're running around trying to get those. And here comes Breeze again. Can he stun somebody out? We have in level 4 also the overkill talent taken for Tychus now. Could even go for... Sometimes we see Sizzling Attack taken on a level 7 for him for the extra damage, and I could actually see that here too. BKB low and dead. 100% beef and dinner has been served. Breeze jumps in with his Inuburak and is trying to stun them out. That was unstable with a quick stun on Tyrande. Breeze rushes away, but a double kill for Fnatic. They are 6 kills against 1. Make that 7. Tyrande is now down as well, and very, very solid performance here on the side of Fnatic. They are rushing out onto the map again to soak the experience, and they're more than a level ahead at this point, which is crazy good. This time we have Reach on Uther. Again, the same story behind it. If you go deep with Illidan, you want your Uther to have the maximum range on the heals so that he is always going to be able to heal you. And that's exactly what it's going to try and do. Again, that damage build on Tyrande. We've seen that already on the first map, but this time they don't really have that Illidan that created so much space for Tyrande. So it's exactly the other way around. BKB moves in at the bot lane, tries to steal a few of the skulls away. They get the better golem. They have 58 skulls against 38, and now they also have more heroes down in the bot lane. Well, actually everybody is here now as well for Fnatic, and they get an early kill against Zagara, and they turn on BKB. ETC is not played a lot these days because he's not as tanky as he once was. Down goes Vala. Oh my god, Mene! More! A team kill against them. Mene moves in the perfect grenade to push them back. Illidan going for the thirst or the thrill of battle. And that is insane. That lead that they have right now. Lowell is using that Illidan build that he just so loves, and right now up at the top lane we have even more pressure against Virtus.pro with Breeze pushing the lane. This is, at least at this point, it's a slaughter. Level 7 versus level 6, nearly level 8, the top tower about to fall. We have the camps now taken, the boss is moving in. Oh, and this is just bad news. Abathur didn't even use Mule. He was just like, Mule? What do I want with Mule? I'm gonna go for the Needle Spine here. And in case that you're wondering what the thrill of battle is really gonna do here for Illidan, it's actually quite simple. If you have that level 13 talent as well for your shield, having the extra cooldown reduction is kinda nice because you can activate that shield over and over again in those fights. And it's oftentimes even better than having first aid. It's a talent that is mostly used by Fnatic, and here especially Lowell. I've seen it once being used by Virtus.pro as well, but that was when they were going for the hunt. Theoretically, we could see the hunt in this game now as well being used. The cool thing about the hunt is that it has already only a 60-second cooldown, and if you have Thrill of Battle activated as well in your normal cooldown reduction on Illidan's auto attacks, you can reduce that to an extent where you can use the hunt twice in a fight. And that's insane. That's really, really strong and puts so much pressure on the opponent's backline. So that's one of the thought process if you use it with a hunt. Metamorphosis is still good though, so it's really just like that setup that we have for in Heroes. And now level 9 versus level 7, a Mule on the side of Malfurion. Interesting to see him go for Mule and not Tyrande, but Tyrande went for Battle Momentum again. It's exactly this damage build that we've seen Sevka use in the first game already. They also have now the Face Mantle talent taken on level 7 for ETC, and we are having the first A talent for Tychus. So, at this point, Fnatic is in a massive lead. I mean, even with the boss being stronger, or he was stronger for Virtus.pro, they are the ones more than a level ahead, and they are very likely to hit level 10 before the next fight even starts. And once that is the case, we are going to see them dominate the next mine phase. They are even going for the towers now at the bot lane, trying to get extra experience for themselves. They move back, they don't have to rush anything here. Abathar is going to give them the experience eventually, but of course that Mule would heal the towers again. They're moving into the mines, apparently. Is he trying to sneak up to the top? Nah, he's going to come back. They're going to try and take those towers before the Mule is healing them up again. Odin being used, Metamorphosis, Ultimate Evolution, and they go for the tower right away. They kill the first one. Ubi is moving in with this big hammer, and the second one out there too. So, at this point, it's a very disastrous situation for Virtus.pro. Reason is pretty simple. In 20 seconds, the mines are going to spawn those skeletons again for the skulls. And what exactly is Virtus.pro supposed to do? Fight in the mines? Against level 10? Are you kidding? They can't fight against the heroic abilities. Push at the top lane? Well, that might be one of the things that they could try and do, but still, this is extremely dangerous territory for them now. And an attempted kill against ETC. Yes, the grenade is pushing him back. Level 11 versus 9.5, and now the only thing that Virtus.pro seems to be able to do is start to push in against that fort. The problem is that the entrance is right there, and they can get attacked from behind, and yeah, that's what we are seeing happening to Kuni-chan now. As stun after stun, Abathar is there, helping out with the Needle Spine. Goodbye, Vala. It's another kill, and Virtus.pro right now is getting dominated. This would be the 2-2, the tie in the series, and a force on map number 5 if they are able to win. But now the level 10 abilities are finally ready for Virtus.pro. They are 1.5 levels behind, and they're going to try to make up for it. With the Mosh Pit, with the Maw, with also the Starfall, and we have a Raid of Vengeance. That's a lot of talents that can work very well if you get a good setup, either with the Mosh Pit or with the Maw. The channel on the Mosh Pit has actually been reduced, so it's much easier for an ETC player now to get a Mosh Pit through. But there are, of course, quite a few talents that can stun him out here. This is going to be a very interesting fight. Very much is on the line here. If Fnatic gets wiped, for example, then that advantage that they built up earlier doesn't really matter anymore. But it looks like they let the boss go, or do they? No, they don't. Kuni-chan is not with the team, so they rush into a 5 versus 4 situation. They try to get more skulls here, or maybe even the team fight. Yeah, Lowell on his Illidan is already moving down, but they decide to just turn around and go for boss. The thing is, though, that now Vala is also in the mines. They're trying to go for an attack right over here, but the boss is gone. There's the stun, though, against the Nuburak. In comes ETC. The skulls are taken. It's a big golem. 97 skulls against 3. Illidan moves in. They have the Illidan copy as well. The kill against Vala. The Rain of Vengeance goes through, and there's the Mosh Pit. But we have Odin outside of the Mosh Pit, dishing out so much damage. Mena on his Tychus is showing everybody what a Renegade is made of. Another kill. Tyrande dead, and only Malfurion alive, and that old geezer is probably not going to make it either. I mean, he had it coming either way. So Malfurion is not going to survive this one. The boss is gonna push in. It's a team wipe once more. Vala is already back to business, but this is disastrous. I mean, I have no words how they are getting a Nuberect here. We have again the Lead Rain even taken on level 13. Why would you ever go for the Relentless on Tychus if you're not even being attacked? And Nuburak and Illidan create so much space for Tychus. He can do whatever he wants here. We're having now also Shrink Rate taken, and Nuburak got wrecked. Okay, so in this case, apparently a bit of an overextension on the side of Breeze. Stun against Uther, so for now Fnatic needs to be a bit more careful, but they are currently nearly 4 levels ahead of their opponent, and they're already, or nearly 3 levels ahead. And they are in possession of an amazing golem that is just like going through that bottom wall. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to take down the keep though, but Lowell is already working up at the top lane, trying to take down a few of the structures here as well. I think the bot golem is going to be defeated, and then they can use Mule to really heal up the keep. So it's still an amazing position for Fnatic, but they have not put in the work at the final defense here. The golem is down, and the keep is still alive, so they can now heal it up again. So far it really looks like it's all gonna come down to a 5th map between the two, and that would be amazing. I mean, seeing a 5th map between these two teams here in the semi-final, god, that would be good. And of course Team Liquid will be the final opponent in another best of 5 series, and I can't wait for that. No matter who advances here, Team Liquid is going to have a pretty cool game against them. Yeah, the Mule is doing his thing at the bot lane. Wally is healing everything here. Wally the Mule. Actually, we have to rename him a little bit. We have Wally the Mule and Wally the Water Elemental. Does not compute. We have to find something else. Oh, and BKB has also to find another occupation over here. They're trying to save him with the Rain of Vengeance. And wow, 2 of the heroics are being dropped, and yeah, that is a big problem here. 2 of the heroics are just like down in an instant, and that is of course a bit tricky. So right now, again, notice guys, I'm not observing myself, because you can see that the heroics are not to the left and the right side of the screen, and that's because they paused the game earlier. Then you have to reactivate them, and I'm not in the game myself, so I can't do that. And our observer apparently doesn't know that. Thanks again though for the great clean feed and the good observing that Karma has been providing here. But yeah, I'm not in the game myself, I'm actually on a clean feed here, so I can't control the camera. For now, we have another kill against Malfurion, and with the healer already down, that is the worst case scenario if you are going into one of those team fights, and well, currently they don't want to go into a fight. By the way, look at the kill count. 20 kills against 2. Say what? 20 kills against 2, and level 16 versus level 13. Double blood for blood. Soma transference, and now also here the next talent for the reduction on the movement speed on level 16. We're having Benediction taken and the grenade for Tychus. Oh my god, like this is just wrecking. The Tychus grenade here on level 16 with the increased knockback, that is of course great for positioning. And that will really help them. So it's a very important talent that they're taking currently. And they move up out of the mines. They try to go for the fight here. Abathur with the 16 talent. The Envenom Spines can slow them down here. They're trying to go for the web blasted ETC. Sefka is being backed, but BKB is very far out. Sefka not even getting the channel through. They're going for him. He uses Ice Block, but that's only delaying the inevitable. It buys some time for Vala in the mines though to get skulls, and actually by now they have 20 already. Sefka is still buying time for the teammates, and BKB is of course now on a fall as well. 3 kills again, but Kuni-chan, he's been busy. He's been a busy bee. 28 skulls for them. Yeah, well, and now he's actually found out by Breeze. And stun, Abathur, poke, and goodbye Vala. 24 kills against 2. Oh my god. That must really hurt. As I said before, I thought that the draft of Fnatic was better, but to be honest with you, I didn't expect them to wreck Virtus Pro this hard. I mean, this is crazy. This is really insane. Breeze is there. They are going straight into the mines now for another attempt to drop the golem, get those skulls, and that will put them into 72 skulls against 28. That should mean keep. Keep should definitely be down. I don't think that there is a chance that they are going to save their keep somehow. I mean, they have by now a couple of talents in level 13 that really help them with control during those fights. With the Frost Shot, for example, Vala decided that even with her going for an auto attack build, having Frost Shot to slow down Illidan and Nubarak a bit is worth it. And I can agree in this situation. But the problem really is that we have a 3-level elite, an extra talent, and a massive golem gonna go down that lane and try to take down the keep. And with the rest of the team already being there, there is just no chance that they are going to hold on to this one. It's just not going to happen. They would need the perfect mosh pit. Mena with Odin, and immediately using the web blast against ETC. He can't mosh pit anything here. He's trying though. We have Mena at the front with his Odin. They are splitting. They're making sure that ETC can't get one of those mosh pits off. Already the first one down. ETC doesn't hit a thing with the mosh pit. BKB was trying, but Vala and Malfurion are down, and this is probably going to be game. The keep is already gone. The boss is moving towards core. BKB survives just barely. The last tower is being dropped. And just look at this boss. I mean, the golem still is nearly on full health. BKB has no heroic ability anymore. Unstable, doesn't have the damage to really prevent this. This looks very much like it's going to be the tie in the series once again. Yeah, Breeze is just like stalling some time. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the victory of Fnatic. A 2-2 score in the game now. The best of 5 series here. It's all going to come down to the last map in this series between Fnatic and Virtus Pro.
Fnatic absolutely wrecks Virtus.pro. The Russian team didn't stand a chance here. Haunted Mines was Fnatic's playground, and they had how many kills at the end? 24 against 2? It was insane. They dominated that map from start to finish, every single fight. They wiped the opponent's team several times, and now the series is tied again. One last map. That's all that we need to find out who will advance to the final to meet Team Liquid. Tomb of the Spider Queen. This is the map, and this is going to be good. Both of the teams go into a double tank now. We are seeing a Leoric even on the side of Fnatic, and they are playing with some very strong heroes behind that. They have a Malfurion for the heals. Also Murden at the front line to help out Leoric. We are seeing in their midst a Kel'Thas, and next to the Kel'Thas there's an Azebo. So a lot of damage, but especially for Kel'Thas it's that late game damage that is important here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. The thing is though that right now we have not even an Asmodine in the game. Nobody cared about Asmodine in this game. He was really sad. Looking at Virtus.pro's side again, we have once more that Arthur's at the front line, together with a Johanna this time, and they play that Tyrande again. And on this map in particular, of course, I assume they're going to play that build with Seasoned Marksman once more, that they already showed with Sefkaja a little bit earlier. I think it was Unstable, actually, that played in this case Tyrande. And it works on this map as it does on the others too. So you have that hybrid hero that does a lot of damage, or a fair amount at least, especially against single targets with the searing attacks and Seasoned Marksman, but still is able to heal if you go for Overflowing Light next to your dedicated healer, which in this case for them is Rhaegar. We also see a Tyrande for them, a Jaina. Tyrande, of course, already mentioned. The Jaina alone, great in the early game, also good then in the later stages. If you have that water elemental, you can just dominate this. And this map is all about map domination. It's all about control, controlling those two turn-in points. And it's the last map in the best of 5 series. Everything is on the line now for these two teams. They've been playing for weeks in this tournament, throughout the group stage and now in the earlier rounds. And this is what it all comes down to. One map. Now let's find out together who's going to take it and who's going to win the best of 5.
The 5th game, the last map in the best of 5 series between Fnatic and Virtus.pro. A 2-2 score, it's a tie in the series again, and we have Lowell on Leoric to the left side, Kaysel on Azebo, Breeze on Murden, Main on Kel'Thas, and Bubby on Malfurion. For Virtus.pro, it's BKB on Arthurs, we have Sefka on Rhaegar, Unstable on Tyrande, Andilendi on Jaina, and Kuni-chan is playing Johanna for the team. Both of the teams run a double warrior setup with 2 damage dealers, if you count Tyrande as a damage dealer, which I guess she kinda is if you play her the way that Virtus.pro is playing her, with the searing arrows on level 4 and just trying to get additional damage in. So this is going to be pretty exciting. Even Seasoned Marksman, I mean, on this map, of course, it makes sense to go Seasoned Marksman, and they play a very different Tyrande build from most of the other teams. We've already seen that throughout the series here, and this game is no exception. No Asmodine, by the way. Like, he was a pretty sad panda. Like, he was waiting to get picked, and he was just sitting on the bench, and he was just yelling the entire time, "Coach, coach, pick me, I'm right here, coach, please!" And everybody just ignored him, and Fnatic went for the last second Witch Doctor pick and completely ignored Asmodine. Well, he's been missing a few 3-pointers lately, and I guess that, yeah, definitely is an issue. So the coach wanted to teach him a lesson. Also, Nazebo got taught a lesson there. He got sniped, and pretty fast at that. If you have Condemn and then a follow-up with a Howling Blast, and of course that stun on the side of Tyrande, then yeah, you can drop targets pretty fast. So Fnatic needs to be careful. This is really the game that everybody has been waiting for, and the teams have been trying to play it as safe as they can. But Whoopi is dropped, and that is super aggressive what we're seeing here from Arthurs. And then again, we're talking about the crazy Russians here, right? Team Ash, Team Arthur's Stroidram. So Virtus.pro, they are doing their thing. That's what they've been known for, the aggression. I mean, these guys came up with a quadruple blood for blood build that was so infamous that at some point Blizzard said, alright, let's ban that out. And yeah, they didn't really ban it out, but they nerfed blood for blood a bit because it was just way too much, and these guys are just crazy strong. So once again, we're having here also a lot of talents that focus on the regeneration globes or on stacking, and yeah, there's a good stun. Death Ritual is, for example, one of them. Then we're also having the Mana Addict, which is helping on the globes too. We're seeing the Regeneration Master taken for Arthas, which is going to be a great talent for him. And normally we see block, but on this map it makes a lot of sense to go for this talent, since you can farm so many lanes. We also see now with Seasoned Marksman, Tyrande in the later stages of the game dishing out a lot of damage. And so far they've already been able to do a lot of work here. I mean, they've tanked down 2 heroes. We have Lowell now trying to dominate the bot lane here. It's those 2 tanks against each other, and they have both amazing lane presence that they are trying to use right now. Reanimation for Lowell on level 1 is also going to be another talent that heavily depends, of course, on the globe, so he's going to try and get those in later on in the game. The Searing Arrows, again, as expected on Tyrande. You kind of have to go for additional damage, and wow, that is something that Johanna took to heart too. She went for Raw on level 1. More damage is always better. Destruction being used. We're seeing now potentially again that Shadow Wolf that apparently Virtus Pro takes even without the cooldown, sorry, mana reduction on the level 1 talent. Gonna find that out in just a bit. We see, of course, the Spider, Sefka. Let's see what he's gonna do. Yeah, he has the Shadow Wolf there, doesn't he? Actually, I don't think so. Let me double check. Did he? No, Feral Heart. It's Feral Heart for him. Alright, so also the Innovate talent, by the way, that we see for Fnatic on level 4, so it's going to be the increased mana regeneration. Kel'Thas is going to be happy about that. It's actually very interesting to see that Kel'Thas went for Mana Addict with Malfurion focusing now on the Innovate, and I suppose that it's more the Witch Doctor that is going to benefit in the long run from the Innovate talent. Kunichan attempting a turn in here. They are slightly ahead. They got wrecked on Haunted Mines. I mean, the last map that was an absolute disaster from the point of view of Virtus Pro. They got kicked so hard that they will probably not be able to sit for a week. They play standing right now. I can promise you that much. I mean, they got specced. So at this point, they're probably also not only standing, which is a bit uncomfortable, but also pretty mad because, well, they got outclassed. And they are better than that, and they know that too. So this is what they're trying to show right now, that they are just good enough to take down Fnatic here. And the last game was definitely one of those where they just probably said at some point, hey guys, please, when is this over? So we have now in talent Snowstorm also taken on level 4, and in kills it's still that 2-0, but you can really tell that it's Virtus Pro who established dominance in the lanes and is getting now those Web Weavers in very early in the game as well. Of course, Kel'Thas is going to be that guy that hits his power spike at level 16, and then it could be a turnaround. But up to that point, Virtus Pro is going to try and do as much damage as they possibly can, and that is going to be the biggest objective for them just now. So they are going to try and make sure that they drop a few structures, that they get ahead in experience, that they take the extra talent, which they already have with a rune tap on level 7 for Arthas. Oh, there's the attempted kill against Mena, but they are not strong enough for this. And even the Death Toll coming into play. Double battle momentum. We have Frostbitten taken. And we could potentially see a mule over Gitbin if Nazeebo is willing to let that damage go, but he's not. He's a bit greedy on that side, and I would be too. So just saying, okay, we take Gitbin here, we have the paralyzing swing on level 7, making sure that Leoric is slowing down targets even more. And another turn-in attempt pretty soon probably by Virtus Pro. They are already on 38 additional gems, and well, with all those gems that they have and the map control that they've established, they should pretty easily be able to just dominate this mid-game completely. The heroic abilities might turn that around a bit, but so far it's really Arthur's show, and that's something that Fnatic accepted from the start, especially after they lost those 2 heroes. They said, alright, it's okay, we can deal with this. So there is currently the Demolition talent that's gonna do quite some damage. We have also Reverberation build here taken. Priest has to jump away. And they move in with the damage. There comes also Condemn, but Lowell is attempting to rush away thanks to the Wraith Walk, and he gets away. No death for them just yet, but Whoopi locked down. 11 gems, and they are gone. 11 gems and gone they are. They are not going to be able to take those, or are they? They claim them. Alright, they get them. It's a bit surprising to me that Virtus Pro didn't just like wait there. If they just wait a tiny little bit, they can do something against that. But the blue Web Weavers have been descending, so they wanted to take care of those. That's actually a pretty cool move on the part of Fnatic, that they were able to turn those in. That is not as easy as it might seem if your opponent really pays attention to what's going on the map and has a solid lead, which is definitely what they had here. So with that, they bought themselves some time. Army of the Dead taken, Starfall, Water Elemental, Blessed Shield. Rhaegar waiting. Come on, Rhaegar, get that Ancestral Healing. You're not gonna go for... He's not gonna do it. Alright, there's Ancestral Healing. I would have loved for him to go into Bloodlust, but yeah, I haven't seen Bloodlust in ages. A 2-minute cooldown on a heroic ability is just way too much in the case of when you can run away from the ability. There are a couple of those out there that still have a high cooldown, but still, Rhaegar's is absolutely insane. So at this point, we have, oh, the kill against Leoric. Andy Lendy going deep on Jaina. This Jaina is mad. Yeah, well, level 9, not even level 10. A 2-level lead already here for Virtus.pro. Virtus.pro in a great position now. But we have a few camps pushing in. Fnatic is just buying time, staying alive, buying time, trying to make sure that you don't fall behind too far. But to be honest, at this point it's already too late. Like, they're 2 levels behind. They need to slowly creep their way back into the game. This is going to be about their resilience. They fell behind early on in the game, and now they have to show that they are able to just somehow survive. Get level 10. Even with level 10, it's unlikely that they're going to be able to fight the way that Virtus.pro is accumulating experience and trying to dominate, especially the turning points. So once the level 10 is there, they at least have a fighting chance. But that's even going to be an early boss from Virtus.pro. I love moves like this. 8 minutes in and they are just saying, hey guys, they don't have 10, let's go boss. And be a bit ballsy here, because they can't move in yet, and we have the damage that we need to really burst this boss away, and then we can get one of the structures up at the top. And Fnatic can't do anything. They don't have level 10, the web weavers are descending as well. It's the perfect timing for Virtus.pro. It doesn't get any better than that. I mean, they're now in a position where they have the web weavers descending, the boss is pushing in, they're going to lose a fort. Well, Fnatic is going to lose a fort for sure. 10s are great, but March of the Black King, Gary on Nazebo, Avatar, Phoenix, and Tranquility. Great heroics, of course, but if you're so far behind already, 2 levels behind, the boss pushes in, the web weavers too, how are you going to fight? I mean, how are you ever going to fight? You can poke with Khaldor, use the Phoenix, but you have to be patient. Meridian jumping away again. Kuni-chan, like, is all out there. He's super deep. That fort is going to fall. The bot lane is already gone, and up at the top lane, they are going for keep. They go for keep already. The boss goes through the wall and the web weavers are there. Virtus.pro is playing an amazing game. They have level 13 with the Relentless for Arthas. They go for the Huntress Fury against that. Sefkaja can get even more damage out here. Actually, it's not Sefka, it's Unstable. And Fnatic, they go for a desperate move. They start to push out a bit. They try to meet the web weaver, and at least they de-push. But they are still nearly 3 levels behind. It's a desperate spot that they are in there. They're not as far behind as we saw Virtus.pro in the last game. So when it comes to the term ass-kicking, then at least for now, Fnatic still has a fighting chance. Whereas, of course, Virtus.pro in the last game got pretty much wrecked. But still, at this point, if Virtus.pro doesn't make any mistakes, they should have a solid spot here. Fnatic has to go into the late game to really come back from this one, and the big problem with this is we didn't even see a single fort fall of Virtus.pro, and Fnatic is down to their keeps. They only have the keeps alive. They need to move out somehow at some point on even talents with Virtus.pro. They need to grow a pair, move on the map, drop the gems, and say, alright, we can take a fight right now. We have to believe in our ability to do that. They're always going to be behind in experience until they really win a battle. Breeze turns in, and they sneak around. It's really important. We have also Virtus.pro turning in again, but they do not have the amount of gems yet that they need. Can they sneak somebody else maybe up to the top? Kesel has coins. Lowell has them too. He's probably the one that can survive the easiest, and he's the one who moves in. Does he have enough? I think he does. Yes, indeed he does. 14. But the rest of the team is down at the bot lane again, and that's where we're seeing Virtus.pro starting to put some pressure on those walls. Unstable is already there. They're trying to drop a tower. Mena, they need to get him to 16. He needs to get that Ignite talent. They have the web weavers descending. Again, only buying time, but that's what they need. They need time. Starfall used. Breeze jumps away. The Siege Giants doing work here already. And Virtus.pro in a great spot. They've played an amazing series here. We've seen them with great games. They burst that web weaver away, and they don't even care. I mean, they are just moving in right now. They have also the Burning Rage on Johanna. They're going straight for the keep, and what can Fnatic do? Fnatic is just standing around. They're waiting. They're trying to just do something, but there's very little that they can do. They go straight for Jaina, but the ice block is preventing the kill. Roots already being used, but it's no use. They use their heroics and push them back and save the keep for now. The top web weaver up to the top lane and the mid lane. They are still pushing. They are opening up some space for them. But Virtus.pro is on level 15. On 15 already. The 13 talent is going to hit very, very soon now for Fnatic. And then they are going to be on eye level when it comes to talents. But it's not going to take long for Virtus.pro to reach level 16 and the additional talent. Fnatic needs to somehow get 16. They need to somehow win a fight. They fell so far behind, and that's just because they lost all of their structures. That early level 10 that we saw for Virtus.pro gave them such a huge lead in the early game that they could do too much. There we have them, the 13s, finally, and it's super important for them right now. Leoric going for the extra damage here, making sure that he has an opportunity to maybe like drop one of the targets. On 13, he therefore went straight for Crushing Hope. And what else do we see? Double frost armor, and well, important of course the flamethrower, but it's only the setup. And Virtus.pro, they have web weavers again. They pushed the lanes in already. There's the 16. Oh my god. There's the 16 talent for them too. They have web weavers. They have everything that they need. There's the stone skin, the tidal wave, true shot aura. Oh my god, the blast hammer for more damage. Virtus.pro is putting on so much pressure. If Fnatic turns into Diamond any second, I wouldn't be surprised. They are under so much pressure here. And Meriton jumps away again. Whoopi already with the Tranquility. Super early in the fight. There wasn't even a fight yet. I mean, there's still a Water Elemental, but still, the keep is gone. And it was just a side product. I mean, that was just this thing like that they took in passing. Oh, what? There was a keep? Oh, I didn't even notice. I'm sorry. Oh, Fnatic. They are... Oh, boy. Oh, dude. They're trying to get their talents, but they are so far behind right now, and the web weavers are pushing everywhere. Bot lane is being attacked, and yes, this is gonna mean keep number 2. No way they're gonna win this lane. No way, absolutely none. 14 against 17, a 3-level lead. It's only 4 kills, by the way. It's only 4 kills, but this setup that they have is absolutely incredible. The lockdown with the Howling Blast. And Virtus.pro, they know that they are way ahead, and they're just saying, boys, play it safe, don't get greedy, don't go for the core, don't push in just yet. This is our game, this is our win, it's our game to lose. If we play it safe here, we have won the match. Just make sure that we don't make any mistakes just now. Go for boss, try and take it, and that might be the chance that Fnatic has been waiting for, or might not be. The throw pit, it has its name for a reason, but if you are 3 levels ahead and an extra talent, then you're in a pretty safe spot to take that boss. So they're gonna try and use that. Here comes again the push up at the top lane. Breeze with the avatar, moving away. Fnatic is playing it safe as well. They're just trying to wait it out. They're trying to go for level 16, maybe making a play with that, but they need Ignite. And even with Ignite on Kalthas, is it gonna be enough? Muradin would have Stone Form for the sustain. But they move in again, and the boss is about to be taken, and Breeze can't get it. He can't get it. The boss is claimed. They can't lose here. They can't lose this fight. They have to get away. They have to get away. Wraith Walk used. Oh god, Breeze is down. Tranquility. Oh, low. He's dropped as well. The boss moves for keep and core, and Kaysil is isolated from the rest. Whoopi is hunted down as well. Virtus.pro is taking them apart. Great ice block move by Kaysil, but it just doesn't matter. Oh god, the keep is about to be gone. BKB putting in the works. Fnatic is getting destroyed here. Virtus.pro just moving in. They are one. This is the last map. They're core away from taking this best of 5 with a 3-2 score to move towards the finals and face Team Liquid. And yes, here we have them. This is game. This is it. There is no way. GG. This is Virtus.pro with a 3-2 victory in the best of 5 series. Amazing play here. Great performance by both teams. The GG dropped. Fnatic with a fair play and Virtus.pro with the victory. 3-2 against Fnatic. Virtus.pro advances to meet Team Liquid in the finals. Virtus.pro takes the best of 5 with a 3-2 against Fnatic. A dominant performance from the team here on the Mines. Tomb of the Spider Queen, that's what I wanted to say. I'm still a little bit shaken here. An amazing best of 5. Absolutely loving it. I love best of 5s that go the full distance, and in this case, we saw everything that we wanted. Great heroes, great compositions, great play, and all the maps that we could hope for. Very well played here, so congratulations to Virtus.pro. For Fnatic, of course, this is quite sad. They
they had an amazing series as well, especially that Haunted Mines game. They gave Virtus.pro an ass kicking, but then Virtus.pro just saying, listen, this is not us. We are much better than that. We can take these guys down. And on Tomb of the Spider Queen, they really focused and they showed their strength. And Fnatic fell behind too early and well, way too far, especially level 10 versus 8 was too much of a big deal, and then Virtus.pro just running with that advantage that they had, capitalizing on it and making sure that they just used that momentum to take Fnatic down. Very well played by Virtus.pro, so once again congratulations. We will see them against Team Liquid in the next series. And guys, I really hope that you enjoyed the cast. I really hope that you enjoyed the games as much as I did, and also of course the action that we saw on all those maps, the different builds with Tyrande going more into an auto attack build, with the small adjustments that we saw on Lowell's Illidan once again with the thrill of battle and all the other small oddities that happened during these series in the games. If you did, give the video a thumbs up on YouTube. Of course, if you have any questions about the setups and about the lineups here, you're welcome to drop a comment in the comment section. And if you want to see more Heroes of the Storm in the future, then hit that subscribe button and support Khaldor TV. And I'm going to see you guys soon with more Heroes of the Storm here on the channel. And yeah, have a great day, good week, and see you soon, guys. Bye bye.